Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Princess Peach Showtime. We're going to the detective
Wait,
one.
there's a Phantom Thief's theme and a detective theme.
Yes, you're on both sides of the
Yeah.
law in this game for some reason.
It's why they were very adamant about you stealing from a different thief in the Phantom Thief one. It's like, oh, it's okay. Breaking the law is all right if you do it for this specific reason. Obviously.
You say that kind of as a joke, but it's actually sort of true, especially in Japanese media aimed at children, which is a little bit more moralistic in certain ways than ours is. Why did that loading screen have no frame rate issues? Huh. Weird.
Well, okay, so hold on. They're saying that the detective solving mysteries would make these people feel safe. But if there's a detective needed literally all the time, I think I would feel unsafe, you know.
It's kind of a weird thing to say, considering that, a lot of the time when a detective is involved solving mysteries, then something bad has already happened,
Yeah, it's also, it's one of those things where, like, people are like, oh, if I have all these cops around, I'll feel more safe. But then the side that I'm thinking of is like, okay, how safe can it really be if we need a million cops around, Oh man, core blimey.
Well, I mean, we've been in town for like 2 seconds and someone was already getting robbed, so, clearly things around here aren't very good.
I see. So by a detective, they meant Batman. Hey, we get to be Batman and Catwoman. That's great,
So that means that there's going to be weird sexual tension between Princess Peach and herself. Got it. Listen,
I had to like digest that for a second.
Yeah, I kind of walked right into that one now that I think about it.
God, I wish, I don't know how they could have done this better, though. That's the thing. As I'm watching this, it's just like, yeah, you need the little exposition and whatever, and I know they wanted to do something different, right? Compared to everything else, but I still just wish that somehow it were a bit more fast-paced, because there's also a bunch of points in the detective portions that I'm just like, I'm not stupid, please just let me do the thing, but you still have to take all of the steps leading up to it, and I'm like, all right, okay.
It's hard in any kind of detective game when you know what the thing is and then they just are like spelling it out to you. It's like, okay, no, I get it, but
yeah.
Oh, it's like, so is this like just aimed to be like more of a like puzzle section of the game?
Yeah, this is meant to be more puzzly, but it's like, one, it's either really dumb, like, it's like, I know it's for kids, but it's also like, come on, give kids a little bit more credit than that.
I don't think you needed the arrow, like, in this instance. Like, I think just having the pattern there and would have been good enough.
Well, I mean, it is a Japanese game, so depending on what region you originate in, you might read it in a different direction.
Okay, I guess fair, but they've made bigger changes than that in localizations before. Like, I could definitely see them just like, okay, we'll swap the order.
Well, the thing is, depending on what you're reading in Japan, you might be reading left to right, you might be reading top to bottom, or you might be reading right to left. So it's a bit awkward.
And she has a stupid hat.
She does. Her head's not flat anymore.
It's funny. That is the most iconic Sherlock Holmes look, but it's like the look he wears in the books like least frequently.
It's like in one book, right, that he's dresses like this, and it's because he's outside a lot during it, if I remember correctly.
Something like that, yeah. I think I remember watching the Jeremy Brett series, and he only wears it in like one episode.
It's just one of those things where I believe it got more popular because a bunch of Sherlock Holmes movies in the
It would
40s.
probably be the old.
Right.
It would probably be the old black and white serials. Yeah.
Also, the one with Benedict Cumberbatch, he wears the hat exactly once, but he uses it to avoid paparazzi who are taking tons of photos of him. So he hates the damn hat because now it's all anyone expects him to wear.
There is also a spin-off movie in the BBC series with Cumberbatch starring as like the old-timey Sherlock Holmes back in the day, and I think he wears it there too.
Oh.
Objection?
So you're not even doing
Objection.
detective work. You're looking at something and you hold the B button and then detective work magically happens.
Yes.
So it is BBC Sherlock.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just can't with this portion of the game. Yeah, I try
It's
to
too
like,
it's too slow.
It really is. I try to, give some grace because it's just like, you want variety and stuff like that, but it's just, it could have been anything else. It could have been anything else.
You know a video game platformer who also wears a lot of costumes and had a faster-paced Sherlock Holmes level? Gex.
There's a Sherlock Holmes level. Which Gex?
Gex.
Hold on.
It's in Gex 3. There's a Sherlock Holmes level in Gex 3.
Legendary. Amazing. When Gex does something better than your current day game.
I do like the different stuff in the background, like the Egyptian tablet with the little dudes on it.
Yeah, I mean, the aesthetic is definitely the best part of it, and just the little itty bitty pieces of pseudo lore, I guess. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
This feels like it could have been done a little better than they're doing it now, but I might have standards that are a bit too high for a Princess Peach game in this regard because I'm a fan of the Frogwares Sherlock Holmes games. So
Yeah, you can't really expect it to be like a real visual novel mystery thing. I guess my question just is that, okay, if you can't make anything involved enough for the satisfaction of actually solving a mystery to come through, you might have just been better off thinking of a different idea.
Yeah,
this seems
that's what
like
I meant by you could have done anything else.
and I get they probably wanted a slower thing, or something less. A Nosferatu.
and we're already leaning into the Sherlock Holmes versus Arsène Lupin rivalry, non-rivalry, since it was only ever initiated and maintained on the Lupin writer's side.
Was that the thing where the Sherlock Holmes came from?
Yeah, so the writer of the Arsène Lupin stuff, LeBlanc, I think his name was, he wrote a short story called Sherlock Holmes Arrives Too Late, which was a story where the actual Sherlock Holmes was called to a place that Lupin was going to steal something from, but he didn't arrive there in time to do anything useful, and Lupin met him on his own way out and stole his watch just as a flex, I guess. And the entire thing was it felt like it was setting something up for a conflict between the two, but I think Sir Arthur Conan Doyle objected to LeBlanc using his characters without permission, so
Understandable.
So every further story involved Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Wilson. And notably, it made both of them look like complete fools after that point. So rather than, an actual rivalry, it was just kind of like, a gag character, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my impression of it anyway. I haven't read all of the stories.
Because the Sherlock Holmes thing I know best is not actually Sherlock Holmes. It's Ace Attorney, where in the Ace Attorney spin-off, I believe he is actually Sherlock Holmes in the Japanese version, but in the English version, he's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it has to do with the fair use and public domain laws being different in Japan and out of Japan, and also the public domain specifically referring to Sherlock Holmes is a weird sort of messed up, where some stuff is public domain and some stuff isn't. So they just didn't want to step on those toes outside of that.
Well, yeah, I think
I mean, that makes sense.
I think the Sherlock Holmes like video game rights are kind of specific too.
It's like you can only portray Sherlock as he is in specific things. But I'm not, again, I don't know enough about the character.
When it starts getting that specific, I feel like it's just so much safer to, not.
If you end up landing too close to a specific other company's portrayal of an open domain character, you can. I think like those weird horror movies with Winnie the Pooh caught some flack for wearing the T-shirt because that's a little too much like Disney's version or something.
Oh yeah, because
you can do Winnie the Pooh all you want. You just can't have him in a red shirt.
Yeah, because you have to specifically be like the Milne books where he's naked.
Either the books or your own unique version of it, anyway.
Oh, so what you're saying is that if I make Mickey Mouse a VTuber, then I can be Mickey Mouse. Okay. Because there's no Disney
I'm
cartoon.
pretty sure
where
I
Mickey...
saw that not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Steamboat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw a Steamboat Willie VTuber just like a couple of weeks ago.
Yo, man.
Okay, so I'm guessing that like if you do your detective magic on the wrong object, you take damage.
Yes.
I see.
So if you think this person's lying, you... Wait, why
it's
do we think...
basically objection light.
Why did we think this guy was lying?
Because he stole a camera. And we talked to the shopkeep who said one of his cameras was missing.
Oh, okay.
You see, that's not bad.
Dude, I know that like returning to the scene of the crime is a trope of detective stuff. He literally was 2 feet away.
Hey,
Basically flaunting it in front of the store.
it's the last place anyone would expect to find him. The closer you are to danger, the farther you are from harm.
I kind of wonder if they could have done something a little bit more like Professor Layton-y for, digging up clues and stuff.
This reminds me of a puzzle.
Yeah, something more along the lines of that.
I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad direction to go, considering a lot of Nintendo players would be familiar with the series.
Yeah, and I feel like that would be I guess a bit more interactive in the sense of like you're not just reading text the whole way through and just being like, please mash A.
I mean,
get me to the next thing.
I understand there's a certain limitation in the fact that they're trying to stick to the stage play motif for everything they do.
That's actually true. Actually, yeah, you make a really great point on that.
This is
probably
more
would've
just,
fit that.
it seems like this was a flawed idea from the get-go.
Yeah.
The hell were you doing in there, man?
Is this the stage that was in the demo?
No, sorry, I had misremembered
But-
completely. I was
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what would be interesting to look into? Now that I just thought of it, so I haven't actually looked into it yet. But are there any Sherlock Holmes stage plays?
Oh, I'm sure there's gotta be.
There
Hold
must
on.
be.
Yeah, and if there
Surely.
are, did they draw any inspiration from that for this level, or could they have done so to make this level better?
Sherlock Holmes is a 4-act play by William Gillette and Sir. Oh wow, Doyle actually wrote a play that was premiered on Broadway in 1899. Oh wow, I did not know that. Like, it's not even just an adaptation. Doyle actually wrote the screenplay for it.
That's pretty
interesting.
cool.
Statues of two great playwrights. Why are there Why were there three? Of course not. That's excellent work, detective. I never could have figured out basic math.
I think the thing would be is trying to figure out like which one was the fake one, but I guess it's the one. Well, I mean, because both of them were holding popcorn, which is not normal statue behavior as far as I'm aware.
Huh. Oh. Another classic Sherlock Holmes element, the police being completely fucking incompetent.
You see, so that's actually something that has always bothered me in a lot of detective stories. And it's interesting that Holmes does this, because in Holmes, they make Holmes seem smart by not comparing him with an idiot, because Watson's not an idiot, at least in the actual stories, or in a lot of some of the old adaptations I know made Watson an idiot. But
when it comes to Sherlock Holmes, the original Sherlock Holmes stories, the reason the police were kind of incompetent was because the standards of forensic investigation at the time Sherlock Holmes was investigating kind of sucked, and he was a pioneer in that area. And one of the main elements of his relationship with Watson being so positive for him is that Watson is like the only person in the universe who doesn't belittle him for being different. He doesn't brush him off as some theoretician, or say, or when Sherlock explains how he came to a conclusion, a common response from other characters in the stories is, "Oh, I thought you did something clever, but there was nothing to it after all." Some variation of that response. Watson seems to be the only person in the world who understands just how clever Sherlock is to arrive at the conclusions he does via the method he does. So the point of the stories in a lot of cases is that, yeah, Sherlock is smart, but he's doing things everyone else could do if they took his methods seriously enough to apply them.
that makes sense, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, in a lot of other adaptations, not adaptations, but just other stuff, it's more just, oh, the police suck and can't do their job.
Yeah.
Where the point I was initially supposed to get at is that the contrast is supposed to be that, oh, Sherlock is smart not because other people are dumb, but because he thinks differently. And, the point I think I was trying to get at was more just, you can make a detective look smart without making the police look absolutely stupid. Unless, again, I guess the point Doyle was trying to make was just like, hey, you guys should try actually using science maybe a little bit.
He believed in methods of deductive reasoning that were not popular yet at the time he was writing. So he maybe over-glorifies them more than a little in his writing, but, the basic principles are sound.
Wait, we had to open a door in order to try touching the back of the wall?
Real quick, I actually brute forced this, and I didn't even go to the window. If you just examine the wall before you go to the window, you still get the credit anyway, and you get pushed through.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know how you were supposed to even find out about it. I just took a shot in the dark, and I was like, let me look at this wall. And I was like, congratulations, you solved it. And I'm like, neat. Cool, I guess.
Well, it's cool that you can find it if you already know it's there. Or if you just go by the old adventure game standby of mash the use key on everything.
That was me.
I mean, it's nice to speed it up because, here, if you wanted to go back and get that missing thing that you missed, once you got it, if you had to do each step individually, that sounds like it would take forever.
Yeah.
And this definitely does not seem like the kind of mission with the same sort of replay value as some of the other ones.
Absolutely.